Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm Maya Tissi, and we come to you guys live for the fourth time today with some more breaking news coming from the Middle East. Troubles both in Tel Aviv and Tehran, the capital of Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran have successfully caused a lot of chaos in Tel Aviv, and we are now getting reports of casualties, Israelis who are now dead. But also, as we speak, the Israelis are hitting Tehran massively. There is an assassination attempt, another precise targeted attack by the IDF, which we're going to get to. It's all kicking off everywhere, even on this channel. We have now reached and exceeded 900,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for all your love and support. We've gained a fair few thousand subscribers over the last few hours. We will continue to be your go-to source for geopolitical news from all around the world. And as a thank you, of course, don't forget, today and tomorrow is your last opportunity. If you like this channel so far, and if you want to get more out of this, then become a member of 2C TV Plus. You can actually get 37% off annual memberships today, a limited offer, if you use the promo code 2C37. The link is right in the description, or you can just go on 2C.tv. And don't forget to download the 2C TV app. Everything is there, all the news alerts, all the chat forum if you want to talk to me directly, and like-minded people, and the documentaries and everything else. Let's talk about what's actually been happening now. The first confirmation that we have from Tel Aviv and Israel in general. An Israeli woman has now unfortunately died from the injuries that she sustained in tonight's ballistic missile attacks coming from the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now, a huge number of people have been injured. We were unfortunately expecting some sort of casualty. We are also now getting early reports of one or two more people who have unfortunately lost their lives. But we'll get that verified and confirmed. Beforehand, the Iranian regime are claiming that they have eliminated one of the commanders belonging to the intelligence of Israel. We don't have confirmation. The Islamic Republic of Iran continue to lie about everything, including earlier today when they claimed that they shot down two Israeli fighter jets and they kidnapped captured, as they call it, a female pilot, which we have absolutely no evidence of. So I'm not really sure what they're talking about, the idiots. But let's talk about what's actually happening. So first we're going to show you Tel Aviv, then we're going to show you Tehran, because there's an ongoing huge operation in the capital of Iran. It's been hit massively. The Israelis did promise that they're going to be escalating the attacks today. The Israeli air defense earlier on, over the last few minutes, engaged in the incoming IRGC missiles. This is the new wave, by the way. If you did watch the previous live stream a couple of hours ago, that was the first wave of attacks. This is the latest round coming from Iran. Let's go to the first video.
صيد والله منزلين علينا والله هيو حر ولع هيو اسمعوا وعرض اختنا نازلين علينا هدول جد نازلين يا هيو اوبا هيو نزل على الجسر السيارة راحت يا الله صيدة مع السمك صيد.
So these were the interceptions, and then once again, just like earlier today, the air defense system in Israel and the Iron Dome became quite overwhelmed, and the missiles that the IRGC are now using are different to the first round earlier today. These have bigger warheads, and also they have apparently better technology to be able to move away from the Iron Dome missiles directly. So the next video actually shows the impact of the IRGC ballistic missiles. Things kicked off from here.
الساعات الماضية في الدفعة الأولى هذا صاروخ يصل إلى الهدف. هذا صاروخ يصل إلى الهدف.
Oh my God.
Yes, so this is Tel Aviv as we speak. I'm trying to find out where anything that I had here was. What's going on? I've got a number of drinks. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. All right, so I've got to have to keep going because this is going to be a long night. We've done 4 live streams already. One about 24 hours ago. So technically 5 if you count everything on Friday the 13th. Then we had the actual air defense system in Iran. So moving away just for now from Tel Aviv to Tehran, the capital, Ali Khamenei's headquarters in the central parts of Tehran, the Supreme Leader's residence, has been massively attacked by the Israelis. The Tehran's air defense actually started working quite well for the first few minutes. They did really well. But the Israelis also have their jets. They have drones, ballistic missiles, and the jets. This is where the air defense in Iran was actually working relatively well, and then it started to go wrong. You can see people in Tehran, as usual, just business as usual. They continue. The fascinating part about this, by the way, is that the Iranian people were told, and they also decided, for the first few days of this whole war, they're going to stay at home, they're going to stay in hiding, they're going to stay away from trouble. Once the regime is weakened, which is happening quite fast, we were expecting people to come out, to start chanting, to start protesting, probably a week from now, 2 weeks from now. That was logic, right? Wait for the regime to fall apart, then come out and finish the job, uprising. But they are already becoming brave because they've seen the success of the Israeli operation in Iran. So we're going to show you a couple of videos in terms of what the Iranian people are doing. They are celebrating, they are having parties, they're also out chanting death to Khamenei, the supreme leader. They're also taking over some of the motorways and the main roads. We'll get to that in a second, but let's talk about what the actual Islamic Republic, the idiots, are saying. So, the Iranian regime are claiming that 78 people have been killed in Iran after the attacks by Israel, and over 320 people have been injured. According to the Iran's UN envoy, Amir Saeed, he blames the United States. He says that the US is complicit. I quote, "By aiding and enabling these crimes, the United States and President Trump share full responsibility for the consequences." Now, following this statement, we started to get very, very worrying updates about what is happening to the United States troops, bases, and embassies in the Middle East. Wait for that, because early reports suggest some results that would actually get President Trump to become extremely angry with the Iranian regime. So let's go to the Tehran again. The next video we have from the Israeli Air Force hitting the capital and the air defense system in Iran trying its best to intercept. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news. We were actually going to tell you guys about what's happening to the United States. Early reports suggest that the US Embassy in Baghdad, the capital of Iraq, has been attacked or targeted. We don't know exactly in terms of the level of damage. So this is a direct attack on the United States from the Islamic Republic of Iran. But the breaking news we now have is that the Iranian regime are now directly threatening everybody in the world, anybody who, and I'll quote, any country defending Israel. So this isn't any country who attack us. Any country defending Israel will see their bases become a target. So by the way, that includes, for example, Saudi Arabia, who helped Israel to intercept missiles from Iran, drones. Also includes Jordan for doing the same thing. But we have a list of direct targets from the Islamic Republic. US bases in Iraq, US forces in Syria, Kuwait, and Bahrain, UK, United Kingdom assets in the Middle East in general, any Arab nations defending Israel, so that includes UAE, Saudi Arabia, and others, and of course there's so many as well. So this is the Iranian regime now effing around with the whole world and anybody in the region, and they're not saying if you attack us. They're saying, even if you support or defend Israel, we're going to come for you. Obviously, they can't. They can't. The only group who have now directly announced that they will be supporting Iran is North Korea, publicly. And North Korea, you know how messed up they are. When the North Korean soldiers went to Ukraine to help Russia, half of them got lost. And they couldn't even find them. We don't know what happened. And the others were just completely drunk. The other group is technically the Chinese Communist Party, but they haven't really publicly said it. They are privately, quietly sending support to Iran, but that's a whole different thing. President Trump has to deal with that. Now let's talk about what's going on inside Iran. People in Iran, as I said, we were expecting them to wait for a few days, for a few weeks, until things completely kick off with the Iranian regime, then come out. But we are already seeing videos coming from Iran, including the capital in Tehran, chants of death to Khamenei, the dictator of Iran. Let's quickly go to that video. There's a couple of other videos as well in terms of what the Iranians are doing. I'm going to have to explain what happened towards the end of that video. As you were hearing, there was a chant going. It rhymed. They were saying death to Khamenei. And then basically everybody in the neighborhood. There was one person who was pro-regime from the other side who decided to chant Allahu Akbar. So these women, one of them started shouting. Well, they shouted. One of them started shouting saying, "Shut the F up, you and your Allah." So... Brilliant. So that kicked off. But the Iranians tonight are also throwing a lot of parties across the capital and other cities. They are, I'm going to show you a video from one of the parties. They're celebrating the success of the Israeli Defense Forces against the Islamic Republic of Iran. And there's a video of the party where they're looking out the window while the Israelis are attacking the IRGC bases. It's historic, this video. Watch. This video comes from the northern part of Tehran, the capital of Iran. They're looking out and of course celebrating. We also have some of the Iranians who've taken to the streets and the motorways and bridges. They are putting up large banners saying death to Khamenei in the highways. Let's go to that video. It's just a short video with a massive banner. So yeah, this is the latest from the inside Iran, especially the capital, what the actual Iranians are doing. Because the reason I have to show you this is because the mainstream media are lying to every single person out there. The mainstream media, globally speaking, they are, but they believe anything that comes out of the Islamic Republic. So the IRGC, I did mention this earlier, apologies for the repeat, but there are so many people who are watching this for the first time. The IRGC brought out a few hundred of their own supporters and members and family members and everybody They brought them on the street. They did a protest against Israel. You know, with the Islamic Republic flags, all this, death to Israel. The media are now saying the Iranian people are all out on the streets protesting against the war. Israel. That's not true. There's a small minority of their own supporters that they pay, by the way, to come out. They do it all the time. But in reality, the rest of the Iranian people are supporting the actions of the Israeli Defense Forces. Now, over the last few minutes, we can now confirm that attacks in Iran are now successful in Tehran. Initially, we showed you some videos of the air defense system in Tehran working quite well. That's now stopped. The Israelis have managed to defeat that. Fires continue to burn across the capital, especially right next to the Mehrabad International Airport. This is the west part of Tehran. The reason this is important is because the IDF have just managed to successfully hit the Islamic Republic's Air Force base. That's gone as well. Let's go. So that's the Mehrabad Airport in Tehran. I believe I've just been told that this is already outdated. It's no longer 901,000. It's now 902,000. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for the support. Now, Tasmin News, which is the Iranian state-run news outlet, if you could even call it that, it's basically a propaganda mouthpiece, are now reporting several huge explosions in Tehran over the last few minutes. Even they are admitting that something is actually happening. Smoke is rising all over the city. Let's go to that one. Then we're going to give you guys, we were just waiting for this next update to be verified. This is the most insane update that we're going to have for you guys. Let's quickly go to Iran, the smoke, and then we're going to tell you. Okay, we can now give you some breaking news. Mossad agents who have been pretty active since yesterday, since last night in Iran. They were the ones who infiltrated the top of the Iranian regime and started assassinating their leaders and commanders. They are once again, as we speak, carrying out attacks. There's one specific attack happening in a building in Tehran using FPV drones. This target is supposed to be an assassination. We don't know exactly who they are assassinating, but we're going to find out over the next few minutes, few hours. But we have a video. So, another targeted attack. Esfahan has now been attacked. The IDF confirms that the nuclear facility in Esfahan, which is in the central part of Iran, has been hit. Power plants have also been targeted. The IDF tonight are focusing primarily on the infrastructure of the country in Iran, which means that the whole country will be in shutdown over the next few hours and days. Now, there's so much to cover. Let's quickly get some of the reactions from you guys. There's more videos and statements coming out towards us. First, let's go to some super chats. Again, thank you so much. We're on 902,000. Carter says, pray for Israel, the people of Persia, that they may free themselves, and pray for us all. Thank you, Carter Benton Jr. And we have an extremely crazy and generous super chat, unnecessarily again, from Upstate Solar LLC. Thank you so much. Saying, praying hard for your dad to be at your wedding. Thank you very much. Again, if you're a new viewer of 2C TV, my father is currently held by the IRGC in Tehran, and I've got my wedding coming up in a couple of months, and as things stand, is not able to come to visit in London. Obviously, that's where I am. But things are about to change. We are now hoping that my dad could visit. And also, we are hoping that soon 2C TV will go live as we also visit Tehran, a free Iran, for a special live show from Iran. And also, we might go and do a documentary and come back. You never know. There's a lot happening. And obviously, if you want to watch that documentary, and we've also just filmed a documentary in Israel, which we are just finishing very soon. You can watch all this and all the premium shows on 2C TV Plus. As I said, use the promo code 2C37 tonight, limited offer. You will get 37% off annual memberships of 2C TV Plus by going on 2C.tv. Now, if you don't know why 37, it's because it's my birthday week and I'm 37. Dark times, sad times. It's happening. I'm getting old. Steve says, don't all of us Abrahamics preach love thy neighbor? I apologize my ignorance as a Christian, but I love both Muslims and Jews. My God commands it. What Quran says otherwise. Yeah, so technically that's true. That's what you should do. But you shouldn't necessarily love the action, an evil act. Evil act is evil act. Sin is a sin. Sinner is different, but sin is a sin. So you should not love the actions of the Islamic Republic. That's just disgusting. But of course, the Islamic side will just hate you for not being Muslim. Will the Iranian regime still keep ruling? Oh no, it's over. Done. There's no way. Again, I might be wrong, because there might be some sort of miracle, and maybe North Korea could help. Well, they are sending support to Iran, but I don't see a way for them to come back from here. Now, there might be, the inevitable might be delayed. This war might get dragged on for a while, but it's now up to the Iranian people to finish the job. It's, you shouldn't really want the UK or US troops to put their boots on the ground in Iran. That's a terrible idea. We do not want British soldiers or American soldiers to go to Iran to invade Iran. Don't do that. It never works. It didn't work in Iraq, Afghanistan. Stop doing that. And when they did it in Iran in 79, well, indirectly, that time, it was a coup. I love Israel, but to be honest, it's a vassal state of the US. No, it's not the case. If you listen to CNN over and over again, and your teachers in schools, yeah, for the past few decades, that propaganda keeps going to people's head, and eventually people just repeat what they hear from the left. And then they think they've actually came up with it themselves. I'm like, yeah, no, I did my thinking. I think it's a vessel state. You're using the exact phrasing of the Marxists. Super sticker, thank you so much, from Cat Chaser. The IRGC went full Turkish media and released a downed Israeli jet video by their air defenses. It was an Arma 3 game footage. Not kidding. Yes, we saw that. And also in that, the plane, the jet they were using, it was Russian. It wasn't... If you're going to do fake AI or video game sort of thing, footage to pretend it's real, it's probably best to double check, do some proofreading before you publish it, you idiots. It's like Pakistan. Nomad says, no visual protest against the Iran's regime or celebration of their fall in Iran. People are supporting Iran as it is seen in multiple videos. You seem to be a little bit drunk. Nomad, we just showed you the evidence, and also you've already, even if you watch the mainstream media stupid fake propaganda, you can see the evidence is there. When they are showing the pro-regime protests, right, anti-Israel protests, you can literally count them one by one. At best, they bring in about 70 people, 80 people, maybe 100 people. That's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. The Iranian people are not really supposed to be right now coming out to do an uprising. They were told to stay at home, stay safe. Once the regime has been completely weakened, then come out, do your uprising. So we weren't even expecting them tonight to do this, and they are doing it. Tonight, they are already raising their voices. They are already, obviously, there's a lot of parties in Tehran, and I'm getting a lot of text messages about house parties. One of them, I showed you the video anyway. It's insane that there are still people who believe that somehow the Iranians support the Islamic Republic. It's... Also, the fact that the idiots are trying to lecture me about Iran, like, as if I don't know. Oh, they know more. Mark says, love you 2C. Thanks for being so relevant in these times. Pray for your family to be safe. Thank you so much, Mr. Trumbull. And another one says, thanks for all the info. I watched all your 5 videos and forwarded to others. You have the best info out there right now. Thank you so much, Mr. And Carter's back saying, paid pro-regime demonstrators, not surprised by this. In Iran, they have a phrase, they have a nickname for these guys. Sundays drinkers, basically. It's the orange juice, fruit juice for kids. You know, there was a name for it as well. Basically, the joke is, in 2009, they started paying the people, well, their own supporters, to come out to do fake protests in defense of the regime, but they had to pay them, and they had to give out these fruit juices. So people started making jokes, say, you give one of these idiots a fruit juice like orange juice, and they come out. They are that cheap and easy to buy. So now we know why the US wanted the India-Pakistan war to stop. The US didn't want to lose the Pakistani air bases, which they needed as a standby for this attack on Iran. Well, there's no need for the US to get involved like that. But obviously, if the US is getting attacked by Iran, then they have to defend themselves against the Islamic Republic. But they already have bases in Bahrain and other areas in the Arab world. They don't necessarily need Pakistan. Brenda says, be ready. The Lord may be coming back very soon. Oh, that's soon. Oh. Don't miss him. Praying for Iranians too, and your father. Thank you, Brenda, for your support. And Josh says, what do you think will happen in this power vacuum in Iran? There won't be any power vacuum in Iran. It's not Syria or Libya. Why would there be a power vacuum in Iran? And what the implications for the... So no, there's no power vacuum in Iran, unlike Afghanistan or Iraq. The reason power vacuums happen in those places, firstly, those are the countries who don't really have any kind of foundation of their own culture. The Iranian people already had democracy, constitutional monarchy, first country in the Middle East to have constitutional monarchy, parliamentary democracy, and there's only one group. In those countries like Syria or Libya, you have different factions, militant, terrorist groups, this side and that side, and then there's a vacuum and then they try to attack each other. We don't have that when it comes to Iran. It's the Iranian people versus the regime, and they already know what they want to do. They already have their pre-written constitution. It's like 1774. So everything is already ready. You just go back, you do a referendum. They already have their plan anyway, written. They're going to have their referendum, start their parliament, have their democracy, and start. Done. You have to start. The only way a country could be stable with a foundation is when you have a strong constitution based on the values of the actual culture. Again, like when the United States of America became independent and the Bill of Rights and everything else in the Constitution. That is the protection that the Americans have. It's not necessarily even President Trump or any president. Presidents go after 4 years, 8 years. And there's no one person behind to protect the United States every day, every year, every decade. Because people die after a few decades. So the United States is strong because of the Constitution, and Iran will become strong because of the pre-written constitution. You don't need a dictator. You don't need some sort of father figure in that sense. So they will be fine. There won't be any vacuum. They will just have to go back to how it used to be. Parliamentary democracy. Now, here in the US and the mainstream media is pro-Iran. Yeah. Since it's a 99% Democrat and Iran a favorite place of Obama. Tusi, keep up the good work. We need channels like yours. Thank you very much. Agent Pepsi. Love that. And Ross says, thank you, Tusi. You're a patriot. Thank you so much. Pilgrim Media says, if they run to Russia, they'll get drafted. To be fair, Assad is still having a great time in Moscow. So, as I said, Khamenei could just go to Moscow and hang out with his old friend Bashar al-Assad. Civil Defense says, Mr. Tusi, Alan is very, very angry at the IDF. Oh, Alan Snack Bar. I was going to say, who's Alan? Alan, they bombed his snack bar. Can you start a GoFundMe so Alan can buy a few goats? So in case you don't know this inside joke, Alan Snack Bar. Sounds like Allahu Akbar. Alan Snackbar. Sue says, Tusi, happy birthday. Could you share about Jimmy Carter's influence to what is happening now? You mentioned it earlier. Jimmy Carter, the disgusting, incompetent, evil human, ruined a lot of things in the US, but also across the world, including the Middle East, by helping the Islamic occupiers to take over. So essentially what happened was in the 70s, oh yeah, but just a short summary, way before that, a few decades before, when the Shah of Iran's dad was king, the Brits were taking control of the southern part of Iran, BP was there, and the Russians from the north kicked off. Then they tried to get rid of him, but then of course his son was the prince, he was the crown prince, he became king. That's Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, the last Shah of Iran. Then the Shah of Iran had to make a decision because the Russians were in the north, the Brits were in the south, and he wanted to have an independent country. So he called America, this is before Carter, he called America and said, okay, can you get rid of these guys? We'll work together. And America did it, and they started working together. But the American establishment wanted to control him as a puppet. Over time, Iran became strong, independent, and a good ally to America. But the moment the Shah of Iran became strong, but also close to Israel, which makes sense, the Iranians and Israelis, historic allies, and then they didn't like it. There were troubles in Iran, communist influence from the Soviet Union. So Jimmy Carter and his friends in the CIA thought, well, the Shah needs to go. But we don't want Iran to fall into the hands of the communists because the Cold War. What do? Oh, there's that random old guy with a massive beard, Ayatollah Khomeini. He looks like an idiot. Let's train him and his people to take over, and they could be our new puppets. And of course, the evidence came out about 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that the CIA was training up these guys and doing propaganda and everything else. They backed the Islamists. The next day, the Islamists in Iran started chanting death to America, death to Israel, death to Britain. The whole thing backfired on Jimmy Carter, and he never apologized for that. So that is the summary, with some of the details missing, but it was because it was a few decades in like 3 minutes. Gila says, Swiss Israeli here, praying for us and for Persia. Thank you very much. Nazanin Zaghari still owe us 400 million quid. Oh, I cannot believe we gave Iran all that money just for Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe. That was a controversial move. That money did not belong to the Islamic Republic. I'll explain that another time. Michelle says, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Lina says, may we soon see a new Iran, a new Lebanon. Yes, can we bring back normal Lebanon? Make Lebanon Christian again, properly. Steve says, I appreciate the clarification. There was some troll descent. That it just preaches pure evil. I meant to characterize the oppressed people, Persian people. Wait, what is this comment referring to? Did I miss a comment before? Oh, yeah, about the Christians. Yes. No worries, I fully understand. Don't worry. Okay. And Tori says, prayers for the people of Israel, Iran, and Great Britain. And may our countries be safe, blessed, and may we follow the laws of the Holy Torah. And Terry says, Tusi, do you think there will be attacks in London? Well, there could be potential attacks on the Israeli embassy in London, yep. But nothing major yet. You never know what the idiots are going to do. Trish from Canada says, don't feel old. You're 4 years younger than my son. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. All right. So while we're here, we will get some more reaction from you guys, but I think we are getting some latest breaking news. I'm just going to give you guys the latest. Hang on. What is going on? Okay. The assassination attempt apparently has been successful, but we still don't know. Because the IDF, Mossad had just carried out an assassination in Iran, in Tehran, and apparently that's gone well, but we don't know who it was yet. We'll find out shortly. There is more escalation coming in the Strait of Hormuz, in the Persian Gulf, near the Persian Gulf. Iran is closing the Strait of Hormuz, which means, of course, the commercial ships and everything else well, commerce in general will be disrupted. So I think this is just in retaliation because the Israelis are bringing down the infrastructure of Iran as we speak. Having said that, they want to now disrupt the global trade in general. This is just going to make the Arab world even angrier. So we have a video coming from Tehran, another massive explosion. I think this is just there, again, near the Mehrabad airport, which is in the western parts of Tehran, where the IRGC's Air Force Base is located. Let's go. I don't think how the Iranian regime, I don't know how they're going to be able to recover from the last 24 hours. It's been embarrassing for them. Leo says, I think you might hit with 1 million subscribers for your birthday week, but like as in tomorrow. That would be crazy. I don't think that will happen, but we could try. Actually, news is so useful. Feedstock, what? For information. Intersection, okay. No worries. Maya, can Iran be called Persia again? Great job. Well, it can, but that will be a terrible idea. The whole point of changing Persia to Iran, almost 100 years ago, was because you got different ethnicities in Iran. So you got Persian Iranians like myself, but you also have Azeris, the Turks, you got the Kurdish Iranians, you got the Arab Iranians, you got different groups. And Iran, they came up with the word Iran was because Iran was the original, is the name after the original people. It means the land of the Aryans, the Aryans, Iranians. And it brings all the ethnicities together because Cyrus the Great and the Persian Empire had a multi-ethnic empire. Obviously, you got all the different ethnicities. If you call it Persia, the country will just be for the Persian Iranians, which is just in the middle of Iran. What about the rest of the country? So that is one of the biggest issues that you have. That's why the Shah, back in the day, changed the name Persia to Iran. Douglas, thank you very much for your super chat. And Rick says, sending moral support to the people of Iran from Tulsa, Oklahoma. This time next year, you will have an entirely new country. Oh yes, they will, definitely. Does the Constitution have a right to bear arms? Don't think, not the Persian one. Matthew says, so what's the deal with the US embassy attack, missile or breaking? It's not the latter. When will the US response be? When they confirm it. The Iraqis have reported that the US embassy has been targeted. We don't know if it's been hit, targeted, right? We don't know if there's been any damage. The Americans haven't really said anything properly, so we'll wait for that. Because if the moment the Americans admit and confirm, that means the Americans have to respond. So I think they're going to, if it's happened, if it's definitely happened, that the Iranian regime have hit the US embassy in Baghdad, then the US will have to delay the actual announcement because they're going to have a meeting saying, is this time? Do we have to do something now? You can't just make the announcement, say, yes, it's happened. And then the whole world will be like, so what do you want to do about this, President Trump? You need to know what the plan is. So if it's actually happened, we'll find out in the next few hours. When is your island going to be on the right side with your allies? Is it the UK? Not with this Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. They're crazy. Carter was a nightmare. Oh, Jimmy, yeah. When the embassy was captured, I was in the Marine Corps and on a chopper to rescue the embassy staff, but Carter pulled us back. I remember that. Oh, that was insane. Yeah, Jimmy Carter completely messed everything up. Put a lot of lives at risk, the American lives. Nomad says, is the mainstream media showing pro-regime celebrations? Yeah, stop watching the mainstream media. Sue says, thanks for the info about Jimmy Carter. Wow, I really am sorry we did that to your country. Hopefully soon they will have a free country. Well, hopefully. Would you please up-to-date me on the last 3 to 4 hours I got some sleep? I'm not going to do that. You have to watch the whole live stream. All right, just a quick summary, very, very quick summary in 2 sentences, 3 sentences. Iran started attacking Israel first with drones, failed. Then started attacking with missiles. 7 of them hit Israel. number of people injured, one person eventually died. And then Israel started attacking Tehran, destroyed. Then Iran started attacking Israel again. And now there are reports that the US embassy in Baghdad have been attacked, but we don't have the confirmation. It might have just been targeted. And North Korea has announced that they would be joining the war to support Iran. That's the gist of it. But there's obviously the details, including there's an assassination operation carried out by Mossad inside Tehran, which we'll get to that when we have more info. Yeah, so this is another apartment of a high-ranking Iranian official in Adghasiyeh. This is, I think this is going to be one of those situations where in about 3 to 6 hours, you are going to start getting updates with names and faces of IRGC leaders who have tonight been eliminated. I can assure you we are going to start getting names, because look at this, another precise targeted assassination by Israel in Iran.
Hey boy. Hey boy. خدا لعنتتون کنه.
So that's the latest from Iran. Anyway, we will keep you guys posted. It's been a long day. I've done 4 or 5 live streams, breaking news for you guys. A big shout out to our team who've been helping us, and our sources on the ground in the Middle East and all around the world. Hopefully we'll have more updates tomorrow, but also about everything else happening. Tomorrow is a big day in the United States. We are expecting the illegal aliens and migrants and the far left to cause more trouble with riots across the country, especially in LA, California. For now, this is your last chance to take advantage of our limited offer. Use the promo code 2C37 to get 37% off annual memberships of 2C TV Plus. You can do that by going directly on 2C.tv, or you can actually just click on the link in the description. Not the join button, that's YouTube. There's a link in the description. And download the 2C TV app. You get everything in one place, the news alerts, notifications, the actual live news shows here, documentaries, chat forum. There's so much happening there. Just go check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Maya 2C, and we are the media.